watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by J.K. Nelson Law, voted Best of Las Vegas. Give them a call, 702-727-9900.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us here on News 25 and Ace Country Radio and streaming at KPVM.TV and now on Roku devices. I'm David Preston on this Friday, April 19th. Senator Jackie Rosen attends a recent committee hearing where she highlights the importance of combating fentanyl and drug smuggling at the southern border. RJ Camacho reports.
On April 18th, Senator Jackie Rosen attended the U.S. Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, where she highlighted the importance of combating fentanyl smuggling at the nation's southern border.
I did visit the southern border again and spoke directly with law enforcement personnel about the work that they do to stop the flow of illicit drugs into our country and halting the flow of deadly substances like fentanyl. And I've been proud to work across the aisle to pass common sense, bipartisan legislation to keep our community safe. And just last month, I'm proud to say President Biden signed into law the End Fentanyl Act, which I introduced with Senator Scott on this committee, Rick Scott, and Senator Hassan.
The End Fentanyl Act aims to help crack down on drug smuggling via requiring the U.S. Customs and Border Protection to update its guidance for drug seizures at least once every 3 years and requires them to be up to date on any and all new substances.
During my visit to the border, I was also able to see how CBP officers use tools, including advanced technology, to improve security at the border. However, I was extremely concerned to see a recent report of many of the high-tech scanners that we've provided CBP officers to identify and stop the fentanyls coming in through vehicles, right? They're sitting unused in warehouses. And that's because Congress hasn't provided the funding to install them.
She then asked for U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas to further highlight the importance of this new technology. Mayorkas says it enables them to quickly detect anomalies in vehicles. Vehicles are the primary means of transporting drugs into the country.
They allow our personnel to do other very, very important work. The failure to fund our full use of this equipment really reduces our security posture in our fight against fentanyl. But allow me to assure you that we do everything that we can with the resources that we do have.
Senator Rosen additionally highlights the Fend Off Fentanyl Act in addition to her End Fentanyl Act.
I also was a proud co-sponsor of the Fend Off Fentanyl Act. This legislation would sanction drug cartels and chemical suppliers, which you've been talking about, the precursors that come from China, involved in international drug trafficking.
Mayorkas then spoke on the Fend Off Fentanyl Act and about how the U.S. is working with different countries in order to stop the flow of manufactured synthetic drugs.
It is vitally important that our border in our fight against fentanyl is not the first line of defense, but that we stop the precursor chemicals, the manufacturing equipment, from either entering our country directly or entering other countries with the prospect of the drugs being manufactured there and imported, smuggled into our country in fully formed development.
Well, I hope these other fentanyl bills, there isn't blocking on their passage as well, because it's important to all of us.
Nye County Sheriff's Office celebrates Dispatch Appreciation this week. NCSO recognizes the unsung heroes and are thankful for the work they do to keep the community and deputies safe each and every day. We at KPVM News also want to thank all the dispatchers out there for your hard work and dedication. We appreciate you. On our Thursday News 25 broadcast, we brought you a Part 1 medical story about HIV testing, treatment, and other primary care services, and spoke with Rob Phoenix from Hunt Ridge Family Clinic, who tells us all about it. Tonight, we are airing the rest of that interview in our Part 2 story.
In Nevada, there's still a law on the books that says if you are living with HIV, you have to disclose your HIV status to your sexual partners. But if you don't, there's still possibilities of some prosecution where you could actually spend some time in jail if you don't. We're working very hard to get this U equals U strategy kind of moved up in the legislative system so that we can take away this barrier for patients living with HIV and kind of reduce some of the stigma for the people living with HIV. And JP is going to talk a little bit about a strategy for U equals U that's going on through Clark County and Nye County about how to stay healthy and how to keep yourself undetectable and how to not transmit the virus.
Hi there, my name is JP, and I am an HIV positive individual, and I am undetectable. And being undetectable actually means that I cannot transmit my virus. I'm untransmittable even if I tried. It means that the virus is so low that it cannot be passed on via sex. If you or a loved one is dealing with HIV or would like to know more information about HIV, you can totally visit our website, u=uloss.com. They will give you more information on where you can find HIV resources, HIV information, and also prevention resources as well.
For context, the U equals U campaign is undetectable equals untransmittable. And this is based on a lot of scientific data from several studies. One is the partner study, one is opposites attract. And basically they looked at couples who are in serodiscordant relationships. So one partner's positive, one partner's negative, and the positive partners were not responsible for any new infections in their HIV negative partners. And this was in the men who have sex with men community, men having sex with women communities as well. And there were several hundred patients that they looked at over many different acts of sexual encounters. Then there were no linked infections. There were several people who did become positive in the study, but when they did the genetic tracking for those infections came from partners that were outside of that relationship who had a measurable viral load or who were viremic, and that's where the transmission came in. But that's our strategy for me staying HIV negative is U equals U. So JP stays on his medication, which is a strategy called treatment as prevention or TASP. So he takes his single tablet every day, Biktarvy, that keeps his virus under control. So this is a great way for people that are at risk for HIV, but also people living with HIV to maintain the negative status and to actually keep themselves healthy and well so that, they're going to live 50, 60 years like everybody else. HIV is not the disease that kills people like it used to back in the early 80s. It is a very manageable, very chronic disease. And from my perspective as a treating person, as a provider, it's easier for me to take care of somebody living with HIV because of all the stigma that's associated with the disease, and people want to stay in care. They want their virus to be under control. They don't want people to know they're living with HIV. Versus somebody who's diabetic, me, I'm like, everybody needs to know about my diabetes. Like, oh, you're diabetic. Well, you shouldn't have that sugar or whatever. So from my perspective as a treating provider, it's actually easier to take care of somebody living with HIV than many of the other chronic conditions that we see.
We have more news on the other side of this break. You're watching Southern Nevada News Network.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. This segment of the news is brought to you by Tower Pizza, voted best pizza in Pahrump 2023. Give them a call at 775-537-2211, 775-537-2211, or visit the website www.towerpizzanv.com.
Welcome back to News 25. Las Vegas is home to some of America's most classic, unique, and entertaining venues. Our Las Vegas correspondent, Maria Centers, now joins us from the exciting Pinball Hall of Fame with its director and supporters.
As News 25 Las Vegas continues to cover historical landmarks across Sin City, tonight we're at the Pinball Hall of Fame. The nonprofit museum located on this strip is open to the public, holds the world's largest pinball collection, and is very unique in its own right. I spoke to pinball enthusiasts about this extraordinary venue.
You should really consider that this is one of the great entertainment values anywhere because you don't pay an admission and you park for free. Half our games still cost $0.25. That's the same price that they were in the 70s when they came out. So it really is an affordable and fun way to spend $5, $10, $15, cheapest thrills on the strip, we call it.
The standalone structure that encompasses 25,000 square feet of pure pinball is located just steps away from the world-famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign.
I come here every time I come here from Los Angeles. I have to stop here and play the classic pinball games. They've got pinball machines from every era of pinball, from the updated new stuff, brand new stuff, to the old school, way older, like 1920s, 1930s stuff. So it's always fun.
Tell us about your experience here tonight.
I blew a lot of money actually playing some classic video games and a bunch of the pinball machines. It's educational and fun.
Due to its nonprofit organizational status, all excess revenues are donated to non-denominational charities.
We're kind of more like a Kiwanis Club or a Lions Club, what they used to be, where we just gather together with our friends and do charitable acts and have goofball ceremonies and, guy stuff. So we just hang out and fix pinball machines. That's really all it is. There's old dead pinball machines everywhere. Finding the machines isn't the trick. The trick is getting them to work and figuring out a way to pay for the expensive real estate underneath each machine. Somehow this amateur backwards pinball club managed to, without any paid staff, end up on the strip, and we're doing fine. Everybody loves it. Happy to be here. And last year we gave away $1.2 million to help our community.
Reporting from the Pinball Hall of Fame located on the Las Vegas Strip, I'm Maria Centers with News 25 Las Vegas.
The Pinball Hall of Fame is open Sunday through Thursday from 10 a.m. until 9 p.m. and is open Friday and Saturday from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. The Kiwanis Club is holding their fundraiser comedy event at Sanders Family Winery this weekend. News 25 caught up with Reva Braun to tell us more.
So my name is Reva Braun, and I am the coordinating event chairman for the Kiwanis Club of Pahrump, and I've been doing that for about 10 years. And I'm honored to be able to present this year our annual comedy show. This will be our 15th year, and the show is starring Ed Regine, Keith Lyle, and a local called Ray Ligon, and Ray will be our singer on hand this year. I'm excited about it. It's going to be at Sanders Family Winery on April 20th. Doors open at 5 o'clock. And we have a few tickets left. So if you're interested in a ticket, please call me at 775-727-0911. And the net proceeds from this event go to our scholarship and our youth activities fund. And Kiwanis is proud to say that we sponsor three youth sports teams here in town: the Cinderella Girls, a Boy Scout troop, Sleep in Heaven Peace, and Salvation Army, among the most that we do. And we're happy with what we're doing. So please come out and support us. Every little penny helps, and all money stays here in Pahrump and goes right back into the community.
Greg Meyer from Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza stops by to tell us about their 20th anniversary coming up next week.
Greg here with the Pahrump Valley Auto Plaza. We're very excited to be celebrating 20 years in business, starting April 22nd through the end of the month. We are serving up some refreshments and snacks as our way to say thank you to the community, for all your patronage and business that you've done with us over the last 2 decades. We are so grateful. And as a way to say thanks, we are going to have some pretty unprecedented sales and service offers, $20 off any oil change or service, and many, many vehicle sales. Won't get into that. You'll have to see that when you come down. But we hope you come and join us for our 20th anniversary, and we look forward to seeing you.
Well, here's Mikey with a new look and your look at sports.
Time now for your News 25 look at sports and streaming at www.kpvm.tv and now on Roku devices. Vegas Golden Knights played their final regular season game last night against the Anaheim Ducks. They lost 4-1. The playoffs. Let's talk playoffs. They finished with 98 points. That's enough for a wild card. Vegas is set to face the Dallas Stars in the first round of the 2024 Stanley Cup playoffs. The first round schedule is already set. Game 1, Monday. April 22nd at 6:30. Las Vegas Aviators picked up a W last night against the Tacoma Rainers, 4-2, rematch tonight at 7:05. Speaking of the Aviators, Finn the Bat Dog is hanging up his leash. After serving as the official bat dog for the Las Vegas Aviators, 12-year-old Finn is heading for retirement this week. The Aviators announced they will celebrate the special pup by hosting a retirement game celebration tonight. The first 2,000 fans to enter the ballpark will receive a Finn jersey. That's pretty awesome. Pahrump Valley Trojans varsity baseball, they're at Meadows School. Softball is heading to Tonopah for a doubleheader. Both those games are in progress. And that's your look at sports on News 25.
Love the new hair, Mikey. Well, we have more news coming up after the break.
You're watching News 25. Local coverage you can count on. News 25 is brought to you by Mountain West Lawyer, Injury Attorneys, 727-9500.
Welcome back to News 25. Pat Lemming from Never Forgotten Animal Society has a cute and shy cat named Fusely ready for adoption.
Hey everyone, this is Pat with Never Forgotten Animal Society in 3091 North David Street in the north part of Pahrump, off of Bella Vista between Leslie and Blagg. In my lap I have a wonderful little kitty. His name is Fusely, F-U-S-L-I, and he is a very, very sweet boy. Although he has a little bit of trust issues, so it takes him a minute to warm up to you. But once he does, you've got a very, very sweet, loving cat. He will be a very loving, sweet boy given the time that he needs to get adjusted. He does not trust easily. He does not warm up to you very easily, so it's going to take a moment, and it's going to be on his calendar, not yours. He is a very wonderful boy. He and his brother came in together, and they're the oldest cats we have on site right now as far as time in residence. So they really need to have a really good home. And if you've got a lab that needs a kitten in it, this is one of your boys. Just give him time to trust you and get used to you. Our adoption fee is $125 for him. It includes his neuter microchip, all of his vaccinations, and his rabies certificate. And as I said, he's here at Never Forgotten Animal Society. No appointment necessary. You're absolutely welcome to come in anytime, visit with any of our animals from Monday through Saturday from 10 until 5. So if you're interested in meeting anybody, please come on in. Our number is area code 775-537-8674. And again, these guys are here to meet anytime you're in the area. So come on in. They love the interaction. They love the socialization. And it helps them to get adjusted to changing environments. So if you're interested, come on in. Again, the adoption fee, $125. This is Fusely, F-U-S-L-I, and he is available here at Never Forgotten Animal Society. Thanks.
Here's Mikey once again to tell us what's cooking on Classic Country Breakfast this Sunday morning.
Oh, hey, howdy. On the menu this week on Classic Country Breakfast on Ace Country Radio, it's the best of Classic Country Breakfast. We'll hear Mark Miller from Sawyer Brown talk about how he wrote The Walk. We'll hear Ranger Doug from Riders in the Sky talk about the Grammy they won for being on Disney soundtracks. And we'll hear John McEwen from the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band tell stories about growing up with Steve Martin.
We were working in the magic shop in Disneyland at 16 years old. We both got the same job we were trying for. And we did that for 3 years, and it wasn't for about a year and a half that the music came along. The banjo. We both fell in love with it. My brother had a guy over to our house that could play 3 or 4 songs on the 5-string banjo, and that was really cool.
Classic Country Breakfast this Sunday morning at 8 on Ace Country Radio and streaming at www.kpvm.tv, channel 25.8.
News 25 Weather Cam is brought to you by Lerner and Rowe Injury Attorney's Office in Pahrump. In a wreck, need a check? Call 702-877-1500.
Taking a look outside through our Learner and Row weather cam, it's mostly sunny and warm. Rory Rossell tells us what's in store for the week coming up next.
News 25 weather is brought to you by Dairy Council of Nevada. Undeniably delicious, undeniably dairy. Enjoy what's real.
Good evening, Nevada. I am Rory Rossell here from the Channel 25 Weather Studios and streaming everywhere at KPVM.TV and now Roku. Taking a look at Nevada right now, up in northern Nevada, Fernley is at 74 degrees, Fallon is at 75, Carson City at 72, Tonopah at 70 degrees, Goldfield is also at 72 degrees, Beatty at 82 degrees, Amargosa at 87 degrees, Las Vegas at 85, and Death Valley is pushing those triple digits at 97 degrees. But here in the Paradise of Pahrump, it is currently 82 degrees. The high today was 85 degrees just a little while ago. It's mostly sunny today. The wind was blowing south-southwest at 7 miles per hour. Humidity 14% today. The sun rose this morning at 6:04 and is setting at 7:21. Wow, that is really late, but proves we are going from spring to summer here soon. But you will see why that is not true here soon. It looks like there's going to be clear skies. The low tonight is going to be 56 degrees. The wind continues to blow east-southeast at 6 miles per hour. The humidity does go up to 31%. And let's take a look at the rest of the week. As you can see, we go from high 80s to into the 90s this weekend from Sunday, Monday, and then back down into the mid to low 80s on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, we go into the 70s, and we're going to enjoy that bipolar weather throughout this next week. Back to the desk, here's David.
Thank you, Rory. Well, that wraps up this edition of News 25. I'm David Preston. Have a great weekend.